So today, the speaker for today is Dr. Varsha Patel Zoshi. She is the founder of Dr. Zoshi's Center for Autism, and that is why she is our special speaker for today. She's a senior nutritionist as well as a classical homeopath. She has done her BHMS from Mumbai, and she is MSc in nutrition from University of Sheffield, UK. She has been practicing homeopathy and nutrition at Happy Living Your Wellness Connect. She also does teleconsultation practice, and she is popular pan India, conducting autism awareness campaigns. She has conducted nutrition awareness via media outreach program to help people make healthy eating choices. She has over 20 years of clinical experience in integrated holistic healthcare. She's a specialist in autism spectrum disorder, combining homeopathy and gluten free, casein free nutrition. She's consulting in various countries like USA, UK, UAE, Australia, and over 100 global locations. She's a regular speaker at health summits and corporate wellness sessions. Her core areas of expertise are autism, neurodevelopmental disorders, women health, chronic conditions like asthma, eczema, fibroids, gut brain disorders, preventive nutrition, including child development, immunity building, and cognitive health. She has presented paper at LMHI International Homeopathy Conference at France, interviewed on BBC Radio Sheffield on homeopathy. She has been a speaker at events hosted by Central Bank of India and corporates. She has led autism awareness campaigns in India, Press Club of India, Indian Women Press, special schools in Goa, Bhopal, Indore, YMCA, and Thiruvananthapuram. So over to you, Dr. Varsha Patel. You can begin. We are eager to listen to you. Thank you.
Today, I'm just sharing my experience over these 2 decades that we've been working in autism. Whatever the problems and issues that even as homeopaths we are facing, as parents are facing, as society is facing in terms of autism. So, to start with, as we all know, autism is known as autism spectrum disorder because there are a varied number of symptoms, and it is a spectrum because not each child will have all the symptoms. And when they are diagnosed, the diagnosis given is mild to moderate, moderate to severe, or mild, right? Or severe. But the range is given because on the child will be on that spectrum. Sometimes the child will show the symptoms more on the mild range, sometimes over on the moderate range. The child may vary from that range to that range. So when you're treating the child, it is always difficult. Even initially when we started, we used to feel a child is improving and suddenly he has jumped to the moderate range. So this happens. So we should be patient while treating the patient. So that is one thing. As we all know, it is a complex neurodevelopmental disorder, and it is on a high rise. The most fastest growing disorder in the world. In India, 1 in 68 child born is autistic, and not all are diagnosed yet. Still, the awareness is not there among parents. Even in rural areas, even they are not diagnosed, and parents also they don't understand, so they don't even go for the help till it is quite late. So diagnosis still is a problem here. What are the causes of autism? There are. It is a multifactorial, not one cause we can pinpoint, and still it is under research. We don't know exactly why it happens and what happens in an autistic individual. It is a multifactorial. But as per my experience, what I have been observing, um, when we started having cases of autism from the West, when the mobiles and the Wi-Fi started, there was a rise of such cases in US or in the West, basically. So maybe radiation is the cause. And when this Wi-Fi's and mobiles they came to India, since past 10, 12 years, when this was on rise in India, the cases of autism also started rising in India. So this could be one of the major cause for causing autism. This is my observation. Still, nothing has been proved. Second, we have been, it's a controversial thing that vaccination can be a cause. Now, still, we don't know. It is very controversial. We have got many cases where patients are very sure that after certain vaccines, the child has started to regress, but still nothing has been proved. Second, the cause can be the environmental. Since there's a pollution in hydrocarbons in the that we inhale, that can be one of the cause. Smoking, that can be the cause. Then during pregnancy, when mother is exposed to a lot of smoke, cigar smoke, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, again the physical health, mental health of mother, which affects the child, this can be a positive factor for autism. During our case taking, we have come across all these things. As a homeopath, we can pinpoint that mental health of mother is very important and can be a very positive factor for autism. Second, the birth defects, birth trauma, basically. While birth canal traumas can be, injuries can be one of the cause. Child has not cried after birth. That can also lead to lack of oxygen in brain and can be a positive factor for autism. These days we are seeing genetic factors, but still they have not been able to pinpoint a single gene which can cause autism. It is again multiple genes have been identified. So still there is nothing concrete over there to find out why autism is happening. What other causes can it be? Anybody has any idea? So one of the major cause what we have seen leaky gut syndrome. Yeah, that is also one hypothetical cause. But we have seen that diet definitely plays a role, not as a causative factor, but in certain symptoms, yes, diet definitely helps to reduce the symptoms and help the child to improve further. So we'll talk about that later further. Now, what exactly happens in the brain? We don't know. Nobody has been able to pinpoint. When we do an MRI scan, everything is as per normal, where except in the cases where the child has epilepsy along with the causes. In a recent study, they have seen when they have done autopsy in an adult autistic person, they have seen that there was some inflammation of the brain stem in these cases. So that can be a causative factor. I mean, that happens into the brain, leading to the symptoms. Still, it needs to be researched because doing a few autopsies is not a concrete thing to say that this is what is happening in the brain. Then secondly can be central auditory processing disorder, where the things that have been said is not being processed by the brain. It doesn't reach to the brain. Central auditory processing disorder. So the child is not able to respond. Child is not able to understand what we are saying, and he is not able to explain what is happening to him. That can be again one thing. Still, nothing concrete has been done. I've done research on this, but we have not really come to a point that it can be the exact thing.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now they have a link between schizophrenia and genetically they are very similar to autism spectrum disorders. So I think it is multifactorial. And what do you think about that? New
Yes.
research, yeah, usually links.
Yeah, a lot of research is going on, but nothing
Mm,
as concrete has come.
yes,
Schizophrenia, yeah, there are, see, the symptoms are there, definitely. Schizophrenic symptoms are also seen in autistic children.
artist.
In severely autistic kids, we see the symptoms, but it
Mm,
is not related because not
mm,
schizophrenic individuals are autistic, right?
yes,
So, yeah, so it cannot be connected, but still research is going on. Let's see what comes out.
yeah,
In so many years, nothing has come up yet. Let's see.
yes.
So these are few things that they have come across, but still nothing concrete has come. The major hypothesis is said that there is a neuronal network dysfunction, but still there is no research that can really explain us why this is happening or what is exactly happening in the brain. So now we know there are it is a varied number of symptoms. The most common symptoms that we come across in autism, I'll just list out a few how and what we can do with that. Major thing is social withdrawal. These kids will not communicate with kids of their own age, even if they have elder brother sister, they may easily mingle with them. Not mingle as in, but why? Because the elders will take charge of their things, so don't have to use their brains. They don't have to think much. So the kids with mild to moderate range, they easily gel with the elder ones. But when it comes to their own age kids, they cannot because they have to coordinate with them, which is not possible for them to do. One then is hyperactivity. Mostly we have seen that these kids are hyperactive, but it is not that all will be hyperactive. We have seen kids with autism who are hypoactive. They will just sit in one place, not do anything. Then they will not run around, or there will be no hyperactivity seen in these kids. So it is not that hyperactivity has to be there in these kids. There are cases where hypoactivity is also seen in these kids. Then we have seen these kids are not trained, potty trained. No, they cannot be. It is very difficult for them to train for going to the washroom. They have no indication. They cannot understand the sensations that they are. So that potty training is again very difficult for them. Some kids with therapies they are able to achieve, but severely autistic, it becomes a major issue. The parents find it very difficult. We have to explain them how and how to help the kids to go for potty training. To fix a specific place for them where they can take the child. If you can, if the time is fixed for the child, at that time you take the child, make him stand or sit in one place. So you have to do your potty here only, maybe in the diaper at least to start with, and then gradually. Sometimes kids are not ready to go into the washroom, so gradually then take them near to the washroom, then take to the washroom, and then later on try to make them sit on the pot. So they get used to it. So that is the way we explain the parents that how you can potty train the child. Then many of the kids have anxieties because they don't understand how to react in a situation, especially when they are in a crowded places or when they go out of the house. They get very anxious. So in this anxiety, they might start screaming, or some will start crying, or some will start throwing or get violent. So these are because of the anxiety that they have. A lot of kids have OCD. They have obsessive obsession with certain particular paper or a particular shawl, or they have OCD of removing the labels of things or tearing papers. They have stereotype behaviors. We have seen that they will follow a particular routine. If there is a change in their routine, they cannot accept it because their mind has got that habit. Okay, after this, I have to do this, I have to go here, I have to go there. Or if they are going to a therapy center, they will follow a particular route. If that route is changed, they cannot accept that change. The change is a problem with them. That stereotype behavior is very common in them. The kids will line up toys or they will stack toys. They will not be able to play straight with the toys. If there is a car, then you have to roll the car. That they will not understand. They'll line up the cars, or they start stacking up their toys. That is one of the major symptoms in autism. Second, we have seen that will spin around or flapping of hands is very common. One more symptom is very common that they will start looking from corner of their eyes and looking at one thing from the corner of the eyes or corner of the eyes and then skip spinning, looking at one thing. That is a very common symptom, and it is a very difficult symptom to treat also that we have seen. All other symptoms like I've mentioned, speech delay basically is the most challenging thing. If the speech is present and the functional speech is not there, still we have seen that the chances of child speaking further as the cognitive improvement happens, the child will speak. But when the speech is absolutely absent and the child comes after the age of 5 years, to develop that speech is very, very difficult. So, what other symptoms anybody can think of? No. Okay. You have come across patients, child talking in foreign language. They speak, but in foreign language, foreign accent. The kids who have not even watched TV or maybe the videos where probably they must have picked this foreign accent. They speak in English, fluent English, with foreign accent. This we have seen in many kids. They have photographic memory. I had a case where the child could read a book once and he would repeat that whole book without even looking at it again. Such photographic memory they have.
Artistic Savant,
Sorry,
SAVANT, Savant,
I can't hear you.
Savant type. They're
Savan,
very, yeah, SAVANT.
right?
They're genius in one particular
Yes,
area.
genius in one particular thing. So these are high functioning individuals. We are highly intelligent, but still, when it comes to socializing, they are not able to socialize. Or when it comes to complex making decision making, or logical thinking, they are not able to do that. So this high functioning autism, there is a lot of problem with their future because they are high functioning, intelligent, but when they're in their workspace, they're not able to coordinate the work. So that is the biggest issue with them. Then one more symptom is crying and laughing without reason. They'll just sit and suddenly start crying. There is no rhyme and reason why they are crying, or they'll just start laughing without reason. There is no particular reason why they are laughing. Then sleeplessness is one caution. Because of the hyperactivity of mind, they cannot sleep. Suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, and then they'll wake up everybody not able to sleep back again. So that is one major symptom. Second, we all know the lack of eye contact is there, so they cannot concentrate. They will not respond or very little response to their name. Whenever called to them, they will not respond. So one is they don't understand that they're being called, that this is their name and they're being called. That is one major issue. Second, the family is very upset because the child doesn't recognize them. They don't recognize this is my mom, this is my dad. So that is one major issue. There's lack of danger seen in these kids. They will suddenly walk out of the road. They will not, understand the car is coming or I will get hurt. They'll jump from a high place without thinking that they will fall, they will get hurt. This lack of danger is a very scary thing for parents. Basically, they'll just, if they go out with them, they will not hold or stay with parents. They'll just run away because lack of awareness is there in them. In terms of food, um, they cannot chew. A lot of kids they cannot chew. They don't know how to chew food, so they keep giving them liquid diet. Then a lot of kids have sensory issue with texture of certain food or smell of certain food or taste of certain food. I remember we had a case of one child who used to eat only Maggie until that she eats only Maggie. Even we tried adding some, vegetable juices or pulp into the Maggie while making it. The child wouldn't accept that. Even slightest change in the taste wouldn't help the child. She will not eat it. So that was one case that I very well remember. Then a lot of kids have hypersensitivity to sound or certain colors or certain lights, certain textures. Just keep it isn't working. I'll have to take. So how do you diagnose? Diagnosis is like there are various scales for diagnosing. DSM-5 checklist is there. I mean, a lot of people have talked about diagnosis. I will not go in detail about it. Then Indian scale of autism assessment is there. Childhood assessing rating scale is there. And many more other tests are there which the psychologist or developmental pediatrician will decide which to use while doing the diagnosis. One thing is that we should never diagnose child. When the child comes, they come with a problem, they don't know where to go. We can tell them an official diagnosis that the child may be having autism, but never say 100% autism. Ask them to go for a clinical nutritionist or a pediatric neurologist to get a diagnosis, developmental pediatrician for a diagnosis. We should never give a diagnosis unless you are a certified psychologist to do that, because it comes back to us. There are a lot of problem happens, so we should never diagnose. For our reference, we can keep the diagnosis. So we should know the scales. We should know the parameters for diagnosis. But we should never give a diagnosis as a homeopath. We are actually not allowed to also, and we should not. So why we need early intervention? What we have seen till the age of 5 years, when the right treatment is given, the therapies, homeopathy, and nutrition together, we have seen the child has improved drastically. Because till the age of 5 years, the brain is developing very fast. After that, also the development is there, but it is little slow. Before the age of 3 years, when the diagnosis is done, it is very good. But it is a very sorry state. The diagnosis still doesn't really happen at that age. Still, basically in the rural area, diagnosis awareness is only not there. Parents think कि अरे speech delay है बोलेगा बच्चा after 4 years he will speak or he is hyperactive चंचल है it is okay, but they don't understand that along with that when the other symptoms are there they need to go to a doctor, get the diagnosis done. In many cases the parents are very sure there is some problem with the child and they don't know where to go. They keep running from pillar to post, find out what exactly is the problem with the child. Until then, the crucial years of the child's development is gone. So there is very need for awareness is still needed. Till now, I have given a lot of lectures for awareness. And wherever I have gone, I have seen hardly anybody knows what autism is, unless in their family anybody is autistic or in their near family friends any child is autistic. They don't know what autism is. Still the awareness is going on autism, World Autism Day. The corporates definitely on that day at least they do. So employees of that company will know what autism is. So that part is good. But in the rural India, still there is no scope. We need a lot of awareness to be done. Then in India, the scope for treatment compared to other places is quite good because assessment can be done very easily, very quickly compared to other countries where they have to wait for long time to even get the child assessed that the whether autism is there or not. Again, a lot of time is gone in that. So that is been a positive aspect in our country that we can easily get a child diagnosed. But again, the therapy centers are less. The therapists are not there. In rural India, there are hardly any therapy centers. Forget in rural India, in cities also, we have seen that hardly there are therapy centers, and there are few therapists, and they don't have absolutely time because there are not much of resources available. So that is one issue that we are facing in our country. Second, not all the therapies or everything is available in one roof. Parents have to run from pillar to post. Maybe as occupational therapy is here, speech therapy they have to go somewhere else. To a doctor, they will have to go to somewhere else. So that is one issue that we are also working on. We had started a therapy center along with our clinic, which we had to close down in COVID because my therapists were not really apt for taking online classes and therapies. So let's see if that works out. We're working on that right now. Second, the cost of therapies are so high. Per therapy, if you're charging 800 to 1000 rupees per therapy. As we say, occupational therapy, 3 days in a week, speech therapy, 3 days in a week. The cost goes so high for parents. So it is very difficult. It is easy to say, sub karo, therapy bhi do, medicine bhi do, but it is difficult for parents to financially support the child. So as I was talking about awareness, lack of awareness among parents is there. Parents, I have seen that they hit the child. I'm not audible now.
Yes, ma'am, you're not audible.
Tell me because I can't speak very loudly, so I'll come closer to the mic. Okay.
Now
So
you're audible.
now I'm audible. I've got the laptop near to me. Okay. So I had a case where I think that mother used to burn the child because thinking that the child is naughty. He's very mischievous. He's not listening to them. He's breaking things, and he's doesn't respond to his name. But they didn't understand that the child has a problem. He has to be diagnosed. So I think when we were doing an awareness campaign indoor in one of the schools, we had come across this issue. So this is just one case. A lot of cases are there. The parents doesn't they don't understand. So the awareness is very important even among the society. So if the people in family, friends, or other people who know that this is autism, they can please guide the parents. They need to go to a doctor. They need to know where they have to go. Still, the awareness is not there that homeopathy can help. We get so many cases. They say we don't know that homeopathy can really help the kids, and their crucial years are gone. So this we need to work on how we can promote homeopathy for autism. Then sensitizing the society about autism. Right now, we have seen that many five-star hotels and all they have sensitivity towards autistic kids. But what about other society, other hotels, the normal hotels and all? They don't know. They have no facilities for autistic kids. They are not able to handle the child, when they come there. So for a middle class family or lower middle class family to go out somewhere with an autistic child, it is very, very difficult. If the society knows what is autism, how they can support the child, it is easier for parents and caregivers to take them around even for therapies and all. If they are sensitized, then it is helpful them. Taking the child in train or in buses is very difficult. So this awareness is very important among the society because we have seen people saying that other parents ने कुछ सिखाया नहीं है, they have not taught the child anything, he has no manners or the child is mentally retarded because they don't know what autism is. So here the awareness is very important. So we have been trying to do this awareness for so many years, but still we feel the need is there. A lot of doctors should definitely go forward for the awareness. Few people, yeah, government is doing the awareness, but still it is a long way to go. Then in autism, parental role is very, very important, very crucial. When parents know the child is autistic, first of all, the acceptance is difficult. If they accept the child is autism, then they can help the child, and it is better for both parents and child's future. We had a case. I've seen many cases where when the child is diagnosed with autism, mother leaves the child and she runs away, or father leaves the child and mother. It is very difficult to accept the autism. So it is again the doctor's role, our role to explain the parents what is autism, what are the scopes of autism, and how they can help the child. Rather than we have seen that very common with our homeopaths, they directly go and tell them we can cure autism. First of all, we cannot cure autism. Understand that we cannot cure autism. It is a disorder. It is not a disease. We are being laughed by adults that we tell them we cure autism. So understand, never say we cure autism. We cannot cure. Even we have cases who have been out of the spectrum. We've been able to get the child out of the spectrum. But still few challenges are there. We cannot say that the child can be cured. So rather than explain to the parents that they can help the child, how they can help the child to become more independent, develop some skills and become independent in future. Like we had a patient, the child was very good with piano. So we help the parents to understand the child is good with piano. He can make his career in piano. So teach him that, and he'll be independent for his life. All parents again they have that after us what about the especially for severely autistic children or on the more of moderate side because those kids are not going to come out of the spectrum. It is a rarity. We can make them independent. Still, major issues will be there. They will need, they'll be dependent on their family. So for them, something has to be done. There has houses for autism has come up, but that is again they've just started. Now how it is going to work out for them, let's see. But that is a major worry for all, that what after the parents, who will look after them. Their future is definitely grim. How that government has to really think about it and do something about that. Also, as doctors, our responsibility is definitely there to educate parents about what are the government schemes, because financially this is draining. Autism is draining. It really finances bleed out from your family, right? So government had a lot of schemes for them. So some financial support that they are going to get. So we should definitely have a list of these things. Even every state government has different schemes for them. Are we have schemes of Niramaya, Garonda. Then government gives 1 lakh rebate in taxation also. There are certain insurances for autistic kids. So we should have a list of those things so we can help the parents further. We can get a disability certificate, and with the certificate they can get certain benefits and rebate in fees on therapies. So that is also very important that we should have that. So recently, our government of Maharashtra has announced that they're going to give 3,000 rupees per autistic child to the family for the therapies or whatever support that they can give for the kids. So some kind of benefit is there, not too much, but little relief they have. So these things has to be conveyed to the parents. A lot of parents they don't know that these things are there. Government has given these resources for them. The schemes are there. So that has to be done. So every doctor who's treating autistic children definitely list out the schemes and give it to the parents. If they really need it, they'll go for it. Right. So that will help them. As I've mentioned, need for awareness is there for early diagnosis, because there are a lot of misdiagnosis also done. We have seen yet after so much awareness and after so much increase in cases, I mean, autism is known. Still, a lot of pediatricians we have seen have misdiagnosed the cases. It not only in India, even out of the country, we have come across patients. We had one patient who came back from Singapore saying that we have been trying to diagnose the child, but doctor says nothing is there. But there is definitely a problem, and child was on the moderate to severe stage of autism. So that issues are still there. So awareness not only in India, across the world, it is needed. Then, for part of the education, now government has declared that our inclusivity has to be there. Inclusive education should be there. First of all, inclusive schools are not there. Hardly any schools are inclusive. Second, who will put a benchmark to which kids should be allowed to be in the school, inclusive school, normal schools? Because it has its pros and cons. Good for other kids to get into the normal school, but what about the kids who are in the normal range? They will be scared because these kids will be screaming, shouting, throwing things. Not all kids will be silent. So it has a negative effect on the these kids also. If this child suddenly gets violent, maybe he's not violent, but suddenly something goes against his will, child may get violent and he may hit the child, other child. Then who is responsible for that? So no guidelines are there to mention that, you know, at what stage, yeah, at what level the child should be allowed into the inclusive schools. This government has just given inclusivity has to be there. School has to take these children into the school, but they have to think about the other kids also. So this has to be this somebody has to work on this to get the policy straight. Right. So this all issues that we have been facing while we've been treating these kids in so many years. So tomorrow, then we'll discuss on cases that we have treated. Anybody has any questions? Let me know. I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Most of the time we are unable to unmute ourselves.
Sorry.
That is the thing. We are unable to unmute ourselves. At
Unable to
home. Unmute.
unmute. Okay.
Yeah. With family and all, no TV and everything earlier.
Right. Right. I know.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Very nice, actually. Your inputs, I mean, your experience helps us to move forward. I think government has very good schools as well. As I am aware in Tamil Nadu. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, awareness is not there among the, as
Yes.
you said correctly, uh, especially low income group people.
Yes.
Either there is no awareness at all, or they have their own thoughts like they have no time or some other things. So they are not utilizing the things properly.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
The
And
guidance. Yeah. They don't have a proper guidance how to go about
guidance.
to
Yes.
do. That is the major issue over here.
Yes, ma'am. So we are looking forward to watch your cases and how you handle them. So that will be very helpful. And especially we want to know about the diet part as well.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I think we have 5 minutes. If you have time, I can
Yes,
talk about it now also.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, dietary intervention, as the hypothesis say, leaky gut syndrome. The proteins from the food, they're directly absorbed and they cross the brain barrier and they cause inflammation in the brain, and the symptoms are there. And basically, they have come down to GFCF diet. But we have seen that not only gluten-free and casein-free diet is needed. Not all kids will need a gluten-free, casein-free diet. We have seen there are kids who will not need a casein-free, gluten-free diet, but they are allergic to some other foods also. Like in one case, we had seen the child used to eat eggs and he used to become hyperactive. So what we did, we removed the egg yolk from the egg, and the hyperactivity reduced. Okay, now egg yolk doesn't have proteins; it is more of fat, right? So it is not necessary that all kids will need a GFCF diet, or all will need a gluten. Some may need a gluten-free diet, some may need a casein-free diet, some may need not need even both.
Yes,
So we need to give them a lot of. We have seen that omega 3 and omega 6 has helped them. So we introduce foods that have more of omega 3, omega 6 into their diet. Initially, we have to monitor what is definitely reacting to them in their food. So gradually, addition, elimination, things that we follow, and then observe what exactly happens. So it is a myth that gluten-free, casein-free diet दे दिया तो हो गया, and people start following it by themselves instead of, because if you do a gluten-free, casein-free diet, you have to supplement it. Otherwise, there'll be
correct.
deficiencies.
Correct.
They don't understand. They need to go to an expert for a dietary management. So that is,
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's a very good point.
yes.
And how about homeopathic addition? Have you found it will improve that dietary allergy thing will be reduced after homeopathic treatment, or
Yes,
it is
it definitely helps over the if the remedy, remedy selection is PQRS symptoms. We have seen that a lot of patients come with their doctor ने carcinosin लेने बोला, carcinosin दे दो, but carcinosin, frankly speaking, till date we have not got a single case of carcinosin. So
yeah, it happens.
it
Let me be
happens.
realistic.
But
Yes.
initially it was like that कि hyperactive है, the common symptoms of the disease are in carcinosin. So
Yes.
apart from those common symptoms, we have to look for the peculiar symptoms to select the individualized remedy. So if your symptoms matches, then you go for castration because visual symptoms are not going to help. So if we have individualized proper remedy, we definitely have a result. We had one case of Paraita Carb. I'll put that case tomorrow probably. In that case, for one whole year, we were sure about the remedy, so we did not change the remedy for the whole year. But in this one whole year, there were hardly any improvements in the child. Parents were very patient. We were sure that they will discontinue the treatment because in the span of years, hardly 10-15% of improvement were seen in the child. Then suddenly the child improved in a month's span. So the changes were happening within, which was child was not, couldn't see it on the surface. So that also happens. Patient is the key. If parents are patient, they continue the treatment for a longer period of time. We have seen very, very good improvements.
Nice.
And in that, one more thing is that we have seen sugar. Sugar is food to our brain. Already the brain is disrupted, and when we add sugar, it becomes more hyper, and thus the hyperactivity, lack of concentration is seen in this case. So we completely avoid sugar. So that doesn't mean completely no sweet. We can use sweet in the form of black dates are black raisins are again not the syrup or the whole fruit.
Okay.
So the fiber and all those. So again, that insulin doesn't spike. So that helps.
Yeah. Jaggery, there is it helpful? Jaggery or
Jaggery, see, it has positives, but again, it is sugar. So jaggery in small quantities we allow,
okay.
honey and jaggery, but again, they are pure sugar. It is exactly immediately absorbed in your blood and directly goes to your brain. So if in large quantities they have कि jaggery से बना हुआ लड्डू खिला दिया, so it is going to definitely increase the hyperactivity in the case. So instead of all those things, we advise them to use black dates or black raisins or fig to sweeten.
Any other questions, Doctor?
Sorry,
Any other questions?
any other questions? Yeah, anybody has questions?
Is there any further questions from the audience? Yes, Dr. Shripriya wants to raise a question. Yes, please continue, ma'am.
I think she's not audible.
Yeah, she's not audible. Ma'am, you can put down your question in the group otherwise.
Yeah, sure.
I think there are no further questions right now. Thank you, ma'am, so much for the wonderful lecture. Yes, your
Ma'am, excuse
experiences
me,
are
I have
really
one question.
worthwhile.
I have,
Yes, Dr.
yeah,
Shripriya is here.
Yeah.
You can ask your question, please.
ma'am, now you are audible? No,
Yeah, we are audible.
now you are, yeah, because I removed that Bluetooth, so now you are audible.
Okay.
Uh, Black resins and chocolate and all is having more oxalic acid, right? So is it hindering that? Is it hindering your treatment towards autism hyperactivity?
Chocolates are complete no, because we have definitely seen chocolates having a very bad impact on the kids. Black raisins, it is a natural, it doesn't really form because oxalates are present in a lot of vegetables also.
Okay.
So it doesn't really affect much that we have seen, but chocolates, yes.
Okay, oxalic acid is more in. I heard oxalic acid is more in. My mentor used to tell avoid grapes. So I'm asking because you mentioned
Grapes,
resin.
yeah, grapes we also ask to avoid because it is again high in sugar and low in fiber. Second, the grapes are full of pesticides, lots of pesticides, and
Okay,
we have seen that it definitely affects. We have seen the disruption in grapes.
okay, okay. So the particular thing is, he used to tell oxalic acid is stimulating the hyperactivity. So that's what I asked whether anything regarding.
If we say oxalic acid, now lots of vegetables will also have oxalic acid. Now, what are you going to stop, right?
Okay,
If the child is particularly allergic to oxalic acid, you have seen that after giving that thing, the child shows symptoms. You can definitely avoid it, but
okay, okay,
otherwise, I don't think so.
okay, ma'am. Okay. So thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Any further questions from the audience? Yes, I think there are no further questions coming up. Yes, thank you, Dr. Varsha, for the wonderful session. Yes, your inputs were really valuable, and we hope to see you further and share all your knowledge related to autism with us. Thank you, audience, for being there with us. Good night as of now. Bye bye.
Good night. See you.